Hi everyone. Today is September 17th, 2022. The growing season has pretty much come to an end. There's maybe a half dozen tomato plants out there that are still producing, but we started off with 52 and there's maybe about a half dozen left. We as of today we processed in and around 60 pounds of tomatoes, and we canned around 5 gallons, between 5 and 6 gallons of puree, essentially. So, but I'd like to demonstrate, because at the end of the season, you need to think about what you're going to plant next season. I learned this method from watching my grandfather, and he used to take his tomatoes from the year before. He would cut them up and seed them, and then plant them the following year. So, I'm going to demonstrate how to do this, but I'm going to demonstrate, if you could show right here. These aren't the tomatoes that I've grown. These are tomatoes that we bought at Costco. So we grow grape tomatoes, but we like the colors and the different sizes. So we're going to try these next year. So what I'm going to demonstrate is how to do it, and how to become organized, so you know what tomato is for what seed. So let's get started. So basically all you need is a knife, cutting board, obviously the tomatoes, paper towels, permanent marker. It's very important for permanent marker, because the paper towel will get wet and the permanent marker will stay better than a regular pen. So, and you need some old plates. These plates are seasoned, you can call them. I use these to catch water, but I also use them for marking tomatoes. So here we go. We're going to start with the orange grape tomato. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our plate ready. We're going to put the tomato here, and we're going to mark this one simple. Orange grape tomato. Okay, so, and then what I'll do is I'll take my phone, take a picture of the paper towel with it on it.
What do you do with the picture once you take a picture of it?
I put them into, I have a file in my favorites, and I put my file in there, and I keep them so I can go and reference. It really is helpful to have it in your phone. We had some mystery tomato plants that we didn't know what was what, but with the marking that I did, it became very helpful to know what you're growing, especially with the amount of tomato plants. The more you have, the more confusing it gets. So, when you are planning on seeding, you want to make sure that you have enough room in your garden for the year, the following year. But you also want to make sure you got good seeds as well. So, but basically what you do is kind of cut this in half, and as you can see, there's your seeds. So we're going to put it on the plate, and we're just going to kind of dig them out. And you'll see, as they come on the paper towel, and those are your seeds. Now sometimes it's not abnormal with some tomatoes where you have to do what I'm doing now, because there's two sections of tomatoes. And some tomatoes have more seeds than others. There's no right or wrong tomato for seeds. It's just the way the tomatoes are.
Show that section you just talked about in this one, because I didn't get it.
Okay, so I consider this, when you take some of these tomatoes, I consider this the top section. So those are your top, when you cut them in half anyways. So those are your top sections. So kind of spread those out. And then if you notice, there's no more seeds up here. So what you do is you kind of cut that off.
You're kind of getting under that little...
Yeah, you're getting under there to expose more seed. You see? Yeah. And then get those out of there.
And the more seeds you get, the better, because you just...
Yeah, the more seeds you get, because, you know, you're going to, when you sprout tomatoes, you're going to lose a certain percentage of them. It's not abnormal. It's just the way that it goes with tomatoes. You know, for every one of these seeds, that's a tomato plant. So when I plant tomatoes, I put 2 in each hole. So this way you're guaranteed to get at least 1. But if you get 2, it's a bonus, because then you have now 2 tomato plants in the same hole and you get more crop. So, okay.
And then you do the same with each of them.
Same with each one. So now what you do is you're going to put that one aside. You're going to let that dry for, it'll take a couple days. And then you file them into what you want to do is you want to try to keep them, you don't want to put them into a moist environment. You want to keep them into an environment that's going to be dry, because these, what will happen is you'll ruin the seeds if they get moist and dry and moist and dry. You want them to stay dry, and you want to almost keep them in a cabinet. It's funny, sometimes I'll keep them in a closet. But we'll talk about that later, because I'll show you our our dining room setup. So, but seriously speaking, is you do have to keep those paper towels dry. So, I'm going to show you one more, because I want to here, point down here. These tomatoes are going to be a little bit different, and there's going to be a little bit more seeds. So, yeah, so there's different colors. So, we're going to do this one. I'm going to show you, because I can tell that there's going to be different seed. So, I guess we can call this, what color? What can we call this? What color is that? Orange? No, not orange. Maroon?
It's almost brown.
Yeah, well, we'll use the maroon. Maroon. Grape tomato. Okay, so we're going to grab a plate, a seasoned plate. You don't need to have a seasoned plate.
Not the good China. Backs.
Okay, so we're going to cut this one in half. Now, can you pause?
I don't know how to pause.
Come on!